So hello and welcome to another episode of Stephen's Forward. As you can see, you joined me with the SL today, and that's because this year's been a big focus on getting this car running and driving really well. And now we're at that point where it does. It certainly drives and feels a lot better than it did when I bought it. Obviously, I bought it and I sort of inherited a few running issues with this car. It's gone to the SL shop for 2 trips there to get everything put right. It went the first time came back, there was still a few other little issues popping up, so it went back there. And to be fair to them, they've done a fantastic job. Particularly the second time when I drove the car back, I went to pick it up from there. I drove the car back, and it just absolutely felt fantastic. It really felt like a different car to the one I drove back from the auction house when I bought this car. So now that that's all done, I'm really happy the way it runs and it drives. There are a few other cosmetic little bits and pieces and bits of maintenance pieces that I sort of want to do now on top of that. So while it's cold and while it's winter, I thought there's a good opportunity now where the car's sat around not really doing much to actually be able to do those little bits and pieces. So today's video is just going to be going around making a little bit of a list, because I like to work on lists, to actually see what needs doing, write it down on the list, and then I can start doing some research, buying some parts and all that sort of stuff. So I've currently got my notepad and my pen in hand. That's because I'm going to start writing down the jobs that we need to do. And I think it's only logical to start on the outside on this car. So let's go to the front. There's a couple of little bit of cosmetic jobs I want to do. So there's the front number plate that I'm going to replace. So I've got a number plate bracket which sits underneath here. I've got a new number plate surround, which I'm sort of questioning really. I've got a plastic one that says Mercedes at the bottom, but I might, it sort of came, it didn't look quite as nice as I thought it was going to, so I might possibly have to get another one. But we'll work on that when we get there. I've also got some new number plates because I like the idea of putting them in little surrounds and actually clipping the number plate into the surround. So if I put these in, there's going to be some holes, and my OCD isn't going to like that, I'm afraid. While at the front, and talking of my OCD, this one fog light down here, the actual lens in here is upside down. So it says Bosch on there, some whiting, and it's upside down. So that one's, this side's the right way up, but this side's actually upside down. So I'm hoping there's a couple of screws either side. I'm hoping that's a little case of actually just unscrewing it, popping it out, and just putting it all back together again. So that should be, touch wood, a nice simple little job. Now, if you're a regular viewer on the channel, I've mentioned this issue before, I haven't got around to doing it. This hardtop is not on here just because it's winter. It's on here because I have no other way or no other top to put actually on this car. So I went out to a car meet recently, I think about actually in the September, beginning of October time, down at the Morgan Motor Factory in Malvern. Had a great time, it was a lovely day, the sun was out, so naturally I put the roof down, the soft top was on. So I put the soft top down. I came back after a lovely time and I couldn't get the cover here, this pops up, to actually pop up. Now I know there's an issue with the latch on that side, so I actually only need to get into this side and it's absolutely stuck at the moment. So it was quite good that I actually had this hard top, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to do anything with this car. It would have left me a real big problem. I had no way of covering up the interior. At the time, this barn wasn't ready. It's only obviously a new addition. And last month or so, I've been able to get the cars in. That was sort of about 2 months ago when this happened. So I would have been left with interior. I probably would have put the cover over it, but then if it rained, it would have all, yeah, it wouldn't have been a really good solution. So I have to do something. So I now need to get the hardtop off, which is definitely a 2 or 3 person job, to be honest. They absolutely weigh a ton, and you do have to sort of lift them up and then go over. Thankfully, I've got a hardtop stand, which is this one here. So the hardtop was in the stand over the summer, so I'm going to put it back in and hopefully try and get the the cover to actually pop up. That's my first sort of goal, and then I can look at replacing the mechanisms on that. So I have to admit, I don't particularly like this hardtop being on, to be honest. I quite like the easy way you can put down the roof. I say easily. The SL carriage is parked in front is a 20-second exercise. You push the button, it goes down by itself. Whereas this, I have to do it manually. It always takes about 2 minutes, and that's as quick as I can do it. When eventually all this is sorted, I might have to time myself and do a bit of a comparison between the two. At the moment as well, it doesn't really fit right. It rattles around quite a bit, And at the moment, I can't actually open this passenger side door now. I admittedly did put this on a little bit of a hurry, so I think if I did adjust it a bit more, but it doesn't quite fit right. So it's again something else I might need to look at. But now that I have this behind to store the cars in the winter, I don't really need this hardtop. I sort of want to keep it though, because it's part of the car and part of the car's history. And if I ever did sell this car, not that I'm actually looking to do it, I really love this car. I sort of feel like it would need to go with the car, and it's obviously colour matched as well. Problem is at the moment I can't actually open this passenger side door. Now that's a bit of an issue because obviously I can't take anybody out with it at the moment. It's a 4-seater. I could probably get myself in, maybe get 2 people in the back if they could get in via the driver's side and hop into the back. However, it's a little bit more tricky to try and get over the gear lever and over the handbrake to try and get in. It's quite an elegant car, this, and it sort of instantly loses any sort of elegance the second you see someone to climb over, just get to the passenger side. It looks slightly a bit suspicious as well, to be honest. So the next problem not being able to open the door is I actually need to replace some of the seals around the door. So some here and down the side. It's also the same for the driver's side as well. So again, I'm going to have to sort of look at those, research a little bit more, buy some of those seals. But at the moment, I can only do half a job because I can only get the door open that side to replace. I sort of need to get the door open in order to do that job and get the seal sorted as well. So the first issue is this mirror lever here. And the mirror lever is actually bent. Now, I'm not quite sure I'm going to solve this at the moment. There is a bracket which is connected to little bolts down here, but that means I'm going to have to take the door card off, which I don't overly want to do. So I'm hoping possibly if we can try and heat it up somehow. Obviously, I'm quite aware that it's around quite a bit of plastic and rubber, so I'm going to be careful, obviously, how I do that. So a little bit more research you're going to need. The main issue with this at the moment is I can't move the mirror into the correct position. I need to move it sort of a bit more back this way to be able to see the side of the car. At the moment, it sort of points in sort of out into the distance somewhere over there, so I don't actually need it that. I need it a bit more over this way so I can see a little bit of the car. I like to see a little bit of the car so that when reversing the spaces I can sort of judge where the car is in relation to everything else. But little job, but that might be a bit of an issue, that one. Next one is now these sun visors. Now I think someone's already had a bit of a go at repairing these because there's a bit of a hole where I think someone tried to put something in at some point. So I'm probably going to have to get some new sun visors. I think the actual issue is the sun visor itself as opposed to the frame. So if I sort of hold it in place, you can see it does that, and it holds in place nicely. Second let go, it just drops down. So these should sit actually quite high like that, and at the moment they sit there, and if I put them, again, if I'm driving the car, I can't push them. They just always want to be like that, basically. This blocks quite a bit of my view. So I'm going to have to take them apart and just see what happens on them. It's not just this side, it's also the passenger side as well, so I'm going to have to do those. So with all my cars, there's a bit of a thing, because I like to get them up to a point where they are usable. However, I don't want to overdo them. I don't want to restore cars to concours because I'll be afraid to use them. It's always a risk with concours cars. I like to use my cars, and they will naturally pick up a bit of wear and tear, a few little stone chips, a bit of damage here and there, you know, because that's the risk when you actually use cars. They won't sit in the garage here all the time, you know, they will be out and about being used. So this is why I've just chosen to do a few little jobs on this car over winter. So today's nice quick short episode, I just wanted to go and pick out a few bits that I want to sort on the SL. Now I'm going to be going away and do research, getting some parts together, and then there might be another 2 or 3 episodes depending how well or badly things go. Sometimes I do find this car just fighting me a little bit along the way, so we'll see how well that goes. So thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all the good stuff. It's goodbye from me, goodbye from the SL, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye. So I found my first job to do. Now I've just put my list down here, and my pen's actually fallen down the old alloys for the SLK, so it sort of dropped into oblivion. So that's actually my first job, is to retrieve the pen.